talking about what work design is, but what is good work design? And how can you redesign work to make it more effective? One of the earliest work redesign strategies that companies tried was job rotation. This is where people rotate from one job to another. Think about people working in a restaurant. One shift, the employee might seat people. The next shift, the employee might take food orders. The next shift, he might serve the food, and so on. You can see that job rotation increases skill variety, which makes the job more interesting. You can also see how rotating across these different jobs would give employees a better understanding of the whole restaurant, which will help them to do their work more effectively. Also, when a job is very physically demanding, job rotation can be a good strategy to prevent musculoskeletal strain because different muscles are used across the different tasks. A step on from job rotation is job enlargement. In this strategy, the job is enlarged to include a broader range of tasks. Going back to the example of people working in the restaurant, a person might, in a single evening, seat people at their table, take their orders, serve food and water, and then arrange payment. And they might do this for 2 or 3 tables across the shift. Once again, the job has more skill variety. This enlarged job is also higher in what is called task identity. It is often more meaningful to people when they can see a whole job through from beginning to end. The employee in the restaurant sees the people come in, get seated, eat, enjoy their food, pay and then leave, which can feel more meaningful than just seating people. Although job rotation and job enlargement can increase an employee's skill variety and their task identity, neither of these work design strategies improves the employee's level of decision-making responsibility or their level of job autonomy. Ultimately, rotation and enlargement are rather limited antidotes to job simplification. This situation improved in the 1960s and 70s when proposals for work redesign focused on increasing employees' autonomy over the planning and execution of their own work, or what is called job enrichment. Job enrichment involves vertically enlarging the job, such as by giving a person responsibility for decisions that normally would be undertaken by their supervisor. Let's consider this classic study of job redesign, which took place in a bank in the 1990s. Before the job enrichment, the bank tellers had rather de-skilled jobs. But after the work redesign, instead of bank tellers having to refer commercial cheques to specialist tellers, they were trained to be able to carry out all banking transactions. This increased their skill variety. And after the redesign, instead of having to get the supervisor's permission to allow customers to withdraw money, tellers were able to do this themselves as long as there were adequate funds in the customer account. This increased their job autonomy. A rigorous assessment of this job enrichment intervention showed there were positive effects on the teller's job satisfaction and commitment, and in the long term, positive effects on tellers' performance. You may be able to identify similar ways of enriching your own work or the work of the people you manage. There is another type of job redesign that also increases autonomy, and that is self-managing teams. Whereas job enrichment applies to an individual job, self-managing teams concerns the redesign of a group of jobs. In self-managing teams, groups of employees work together to achieve shared goals. For example, a team of employees might come together to provide a one-stop shop service to a particular client. Autonomy means that the team is responsible for making its own day-to-day decisions, such as deciding who will do which tasks. Self-managing teams, also referred to as autonomous work groups, have been successfully introduced in many organisations, with research showing these almost always result in more satisfying and engaging jobs for people. Studies also show positive effects on productivity, for example, because of lower supervisory costs.